at any point in the future. Right, we will start in our lovely semi-supine position. So today, as always, find those points, the hip or the front of your ASIS pointing up to the ceiling, heels, big toe, little toe, firmly earthed on the ground. Just allow your body to spread. Perhaps think about dropping your shoulders a bit more into the mat to start with. Give your neck a little bit of elongation. And just take a moment to feel your body on the mat. And then we're going to start crossing our arms in front of our chest, holding on between the elbows and the wrists, and do your lovely shoulder release. So breathing in to tap an elbow slowly down to one side, breathing out, drawing through the abdominals back to center, and then over to the other side. Using your breath, making it as long and slow as you possibly can each time. And as I always say with this one, if you're feeling a little bit tight in the shoulders, hold closer to your wrists to allow yourself a bit more movement. You're aiming to keep the back of the shoulders on the mat as much as possible and getting some lovely stretch through the shoulder joint. And so this is where you can still think about drawing your tummy button into the spine to get the abs starting to engage all the way through. Thinking about your feet as well as you do this, perhaps think about a little bit of extra pressure as if you're trying to draw your heels in towards your bottom to ensure your posture is nice and stable. Breathing in to drop, and then breathing out, drawing back to center and over to the other side. And one more in each direction. And then on your next in-breath, as you drop the elbow down, think about knitting the ribs down towards the mat and take the arms up overhead, again using a whole breath. Quite nice to breathe out as you do that, circling around to the front again and then reversing the direction, keeping the ribs from popping up to the ceiling, so still using your abdominals, using your obliques, finding that lovely stretch and movement through the shoulder. And of course, if you've got any pain in the shoulders doing this, make the circle a lot smaller. It really doesn't have to be large. It's all about finding mobilization and working in a range that's comfortable but challenging, as with all the exercises. And again, focusing on making sure your knees are staying nice and stable. That's it. Couple more in each direction just to loosen off. And then I can't see any of you with a head block, but if you do have one, take it away for now because we're going to do some pelvic tilting. Bring your arms by your sides. Again, allow the shoulder blades to be really heavy into the mat. And that extra pressure through the feet as if you're drawing the heels towards the bottom, breathing out, drawing tummy button to spine to curl your pubic bone towards your ribs, a little way off the floor, and then back as you breathe in. So you're always going back to that flat neutral point, trying to get a little bit of movement through the very lower spine, the lumbar spine, in that sacroiliac joint area. Always coming back to that neutral point. Breathing out to curl and breathing in to place yourself down. And that extra pressure through the feet. You might find a little bit of work happening in the hamstring area. And gradually work up your spine a little bit further. And if you're comfortable, you can bring your arms into it. So as you breathe out, curl and peel off. And you can take your arms up and overhead if you want, or just to the ceiling, leave them wherever they end up. As you breathe out, place your body down and then bring the arms back down to your side, ready to go again. So using your whole breath, peeling off as you breathe out, bringing the arms up, over if you want to. Breath in to hold. Breathing out, leave the arms where they are, soften through the front of the chest to place that upper back down first, then the middle back, then the lower back, and then the arms come down by your sides. And keep going to your own breath pattern. Really focus on working that spine piece by piece by piece, trying to work through any bits that don't move independently, noticing and adjusting as you go. All about how your body's feeling. And really, really try and keep that pubic bone curled towards you. So Maud, maybe don't go up quite so high, just to the shoulder area, and really focus on curling your pubic bone towards your chest and keeping it curled. And that'll be your limiting factor. And you're trying to keep that curl as you roll back down again. That's it, and still keeping the knees in line. We'll do 2 more. Using that lovely breath. That's it, and make this your final one. That's it, Marie. Keep those toes on the floor. Don't allow them to pop up. And let's move our focus down the body to our hips. We'll do a hip release. So arms could be loosely by your sides. I'm just getting mine out of the way so you can see. Dropping a knee out to the side so you're on the outer edge of your foot. Send that foot on the outer edge straight in front of you. Turn it so the knee ends up facing the ceiling. Use the abs to draw it back again. So dropping the knee out, sending the foot forward on the outer side of your foot, turning back to the ceiling and using the abs to draw in. Again, nice and slow, keeping the other side as stable as possible, keeping your shoulders wide on the mat, opening up the hip flexor and using the side of the bum, the glute muscles as well. One more in this way. And then reverse the direction. So send the foot straight away from you. Turn it so you're on the side of your foot. Bring that foot straight up so your knee's out to the side, and then bring the knee back up to the ceiling and foot flat on the floor. And slide it away. Good, nice and slow. Feeling again any crunchy bits, using your breath. Keeping the other knee nice and stable, keeping the shoulders wide and relaxed. I think you've got 2 more in this direction. That's it. Final one. And then the same on the other side. So dropping the knee out to the side, that edge of the foot straight away in front of you, then turn it back to the ceiling and draw it back in. Coming back to the point you started. So Marie, keep the foot where it is as you drop the knee out and slide it straight in front of you. That's it. Then turn it back to parallel and draw it back up. Good. So you should be doing about 5 in each direction. That's looking good, Adele. Nice and stable on the other side. That's lovely. So when you've done 5 that way, stretch the leg away, turn it out, draw it back in. So the foot is staying in line with the middle of your bottom each time, in each direction. Using your breath. Then when you've done, hug your knees in so I can see who's finished. I'm not rushing you, I'm just not quite sure what speeds you're all working at. Good, and we'll move on to arm and leg slides. So arms up to the ceiling, feet hip width apart, still on the floor. Allow again the shoulders to be really heavy into the mat. I almost want to say press them into the mat for now. Keeping the arms straight, sliding opposite arm and leg away, using your abs to bring you back to center. Breathing in to extend, breathing out to return. And again, your arm might not reach the floor, but I found by that extra focus through the back of my shoulder blades, I managed to get it a little further and closer to the mat than I normally do. So it's always worth a play around. So breathing in to extend, breathe out, come back to the start, a little pause and then focus on the other side because you want that change over to be nice and smooth. You want to be drawing in through the abdominals. You want those ribs knitting down. So you want to feel the whole of your back onto the mat. And the upper shoulders away from the ears. That's it. And remember, the knee that's not moving is as solid as a rock. So again, a little bit of focus on the foot drawing in towards the body to give that extra connection. And it's being curious with how our bodies are feeling. Always take time to notice and make those micro adjustments. One more on each side. And then arms stay up to the ceiling. And we're going to nod the head, suck in the abdominals and extend a leg and extend an arm. Come back down. So a little curl ups with extending a leg. You can hover it off the floor if you want. If it's too much on the neck, just press your head into your hand and keep going if you can with one arm and one leg. And remember, the more you use your abs as if you've got a little whirlpool or vortex around your tummy button, the less pressure you should feel on your neck, because we don't want to come up too high and use our chest to curl up. It's all coming from just above the front of your hips. So it's imagining you're stopping yourself going for a little wee, to be very crude about it, sucking in the tummy button towards the spine to get the deep transversus muscles or your pelvic floor muscles working, not just the outer muscles like the rectus abdominis or six-pack. They will come. Good. One more on each leg. And then bring your legs one at a time into tabletop. And just have your feet slightly lower than your knees, arms up to the ceiling, same thing. So nodding the head, extending the legs, and coming back again. Breathing out, using the abs to draw you up. For coordination, ready to go into the 100. And we'll do 3. And breathing out for 2. Really stretch those legs away. And this final one, we're going to stay up here. So squeeze the legs together and we're going to beat in, 2, 3, 4, 5, out, 2, 3, 4, 5, in, 2, 3, 4, 5, out, 2, 3, 4, 5. Keep going. If you need to bring your feet in to tabletop, do. If you need them down, do. Otherwise, stay out here. Keep breathing in for 5, breathing out for 5, beating your arms from the armpits, keeping those tummy buttons drawing into the body, nearly there, doing a wonderful job. Keep the chins nodded. That's it, more fantastic. Well done, Adele. Good, everyone. And hug your knees in. Ah, good work. Oh, no rest for the wicked. You're doing brilliantly. Okay, from there, single leg stretch. So press your shins away, curl up, sucking the abs into the body. Bring your hands to your knees and just take your knees slightly further away from your body than you would normally. Keep the hands there today and just extend a leg and change. So you're bringing your knee back to the starting point where your hands are, and you're sinking your chest, curling up a little bit more towards your knees each time. Breathing out and out, out and out. You can keep your legs up higher, I don't mind. Focus on those abs drawing down through your body, in towards your back, anchoring yourself onto the mat. So you don't need to hug a knee into the chest. You're just bringing your chest towards your knee. That's it. And 5, and 4, and 3, and 2, and 1. Brilliant. Hug your knees in. Good. Have a little breath. We're going back up there for a double leg stretch. So again, use your shins to press away and help you curl up, using your abs to curl forward. And again, stretching arm and legs away and curling up to the starting point, stretching away, circling the arms around all the time as you breathe out to come in. Breathe in to extend and breathe out to come forward. Using your breath, really focus on the abdominals, sucking into your body, keeping the chins nodded. Imagine you've got that lovely orange under your chin. Adele, legs together if you can. It'll help with that inner thigh connection. That's it, Marie. Good, Caroline. That's it, Maud. And again, 3. Keep breathing. And 2. And 1. And then hug your knees in. Oh, I did warn you. Good. Let's do some hip rolls. So you can either keep your feet on the floor and have your arms nice and wide today, or tabletop, or long legs, whichever you want to do. Abs engaged, breathing in to take the knees over to one side. They stay glued together, backs of the shoulders into the mat, breathing out, again, bringing you back to the center. So lots of different variations, however your body's feeling. Don't press too hard with your hands in the mat. Just nice stability, getting the obliques warming up a little bit more, because we've got love coming up for them in a moment. So Adele, again, keep your legs together. Just take your knees over and your legs over to one side as you breathe in. That's it. Keep them together and then breathe out. Draw them back to the start. That's it. Good. So you want to keep both bum cheeks sort of on the floor as well a little bit, or that intention. So it's quite, even though it's a nice smooth movement, it's still challenging. And definitely keep your knees together and in line with each other. So if you see one knee is sliding, just make that movement a little bit smaller. Even if you're extending a leg, you want those knees to stay glued together. Keep breathing, keep those shoulders nice and relaxed. nice and slow. And yes, if you need to have a little break and a rest at any point during class, please do. Good. A few more in each direction, just so we get nice and warmed up. And then hug your knees in after this last one. You can finish it nicely and rock from side to side and have a little breather. We're going to work up to our crisscross, which is basically oblique twist. So we're going to have hands behind the head and we're going to do our marching. So we're sending one arm elbow behind us or one armpit behind us and lifting the knee and the opposite armpit towards that. So starting off nice and slowly, all the time sucking down on your abdominals. So we'll do a few of those to start with, and then they're going to build it up. So again, take your focus to your chest, taking yourself towards your knee rather than your knee coming into your chest. That's it, more good. So you want your knee 90-degree angle to your body as it comes in, and that's as far as it goes. If you're really focusing on the abs and the obliques curling up. And that's right, so we're breathing out to curl up, breathing in to return to the mat. Good. One more on each side, or finish to balance yourselves up. And we'll do a similar thing. So we're going to have one leg bent up. We're going to curl, and as we curl up, breathing out, and extend it to the ceiling and back down. Stick to the same side. I'd like 10 of these. So you're breathing out to extend the leg towards the ceiling, keeping the bum and the pelvis on the floor, and thinking the armpits are leading your rotation. That's it. So you're trying to get your whole upper body off the mat. It might be a tiny way, but still. Trying to keep all your pelvis on the floor. Good. Really think rotating round to the opposite side. So Marie, your left elbow to your right leg. That's it. And then when you've done 10 that side, if you need to have a little break, do, and then do 10 on the other side. That's it. So nice and slow. Breathe out, rotate and curl up. Breathe in to come back. That's it, Adele. Lovely. Good, Caroline. Think more rotation and make sure there's no tension in the neck. Everything coming from those abs. Good. So when you've done 10 on that second leg, hug your knees in, have a little breather, and we'll work it up again. So if I can get my coordination right, have one leg in tabletop and extend the other leg towards the floor. Rotate the bent leg so you're curling up, and then we're just going to lift that 10, and then roll back down and change to the other side. So that's quite simple, but you've still got to hold That breathing out, rotating up towards the bent leg in tabletop, extending the other leg away and lift and lowering it for 10. Nice and slow, and take your focus to the back of the leg, so the hamstring underneath the bottom is a good place to focus on that long leg. Good, keep breathing. Again, 10 up and down with that long leg. Place both feet on the floor. Set yourself up, bring the other leg into tabletop when you're ready to. Curl forward, extend the non-tabletop leg along the floor and lift and lower for 10. Nice and slowly though. Thank you. And if you're feeling any tension in your neck, press your head into your hands a little bit more and nod your chin and refocus on your tummy button. So you're keeping up there, you're holding it up and just allowing that long leg to lift and lower. You don't need to lift and lower your body. Then when you've done 10 on that side, hug your knees in. And we'll do our final version. The full crisscross sort of. That's it. Right. So final one, long leg, bent leg, I think. So we curl up, we extend the legs, both in tabletop, sorry, I can't. And we change each time. So it's a little bit like rubbing your tummy and patting your head bizarrely. So you're curling to each leg as you almost do a scissor, just straight legs, lifting and lowering, and curling from one side to the other. So take it nice and slowly again, so you don't tweak anything. And if you need to keep your legs bent, obviously keep your legs bent. Keeping the bums on the floor. That's it, using your breath. Good work. I know this is going to be making you feeling very sweaty, very tired. You're nearly there. One more on each side. And then hug your knees in. Oh, fantastic. Well done. We've definitely warmed those abdominals up, I think. So from there, we'll roll like a ball. So nod your head forward. You can just use a little bit of momentum, as long as you're happy on your flooring that your back is going to be safe. Keeping your feet together, your knees can be slightly separated, your elbows wide. You don't want to be kicking your legs away. You want to keep them close to your bottom. So you're definitely in that little ball shape and rolling as slowly as you possibly can. Good. Caroline, if you want to do a little bit of a challenge, put your hands between your breastbone and your knees, so you've got nothing to hold on to. Yeah, that will show it. Yay, good, it's tough. Lovely, a couple more if you're doing them, just to loosen off and have a bit of a laugh. Excuse me. And lie down, we'll work on our sides. So choose a side that you want. We're going to start with our double leg lift. So underneath arm nice and long. Focus today on your setup. Think about hip over hip, underneath shoulder drawing down. If you want a cushion or a pad in between your head and your arm, please do. Angle your legs slightly in front of you and looking towards the mat. Then when you're ready, breathing out, lift and hover. And breathing in, place yourself down. And again, if you're feeling any tension in the neck, just turn your head to look more at the mat as you lift it, or don't lift it at all. And the focus is very much on not rolling backwards as you lift. So that underneath waist is lifting off the mat. That's it. Maud, maybe roll slightly further forward to start with. That's looking a little bit too easy to me. Good, Marie. That's it, Adele. Good. Good, Caroline. Remember, glue those legs together. Think inner thigh of the underneath leg is doing a load of that work to lift and lower. So breathing out to lift, breathing in to lower. Two more. Nice and smooth, really think stretching away. And then lift that top leg to hip height. We'll do our single leg underneath leg. So again, inner thigh of that underneath leg, lift and lowers. So if it helps, you can point your feet or really flex them, but you don't want those toes leading. The foot is just at the end of your leg, doing absolutely nothing. All that conscious work through the upper inner thigh. And of course, you're having to use that top leg with body weight. Good. And two more. Then think about anchoring your underneath leg really firmly into the mat. You might want it slightly further forward. Lift the top leg to hip height. Point the toes to start with, and you want the little toe, the outer edge of that foot, up to the ceiling at all times. And you're going to 2 taps in front, lift it as high as you can, 2 taps behind, all the time, keeping the little toe up to the ceiling. So we're doing our hot potato. Again, if you've got a hand in front for balance, don't grip the floor, keep the shoulders down away from the ears, and the focus is on the outside edge of that leg, doing that lifting. 2 taps in front, 2 taps behind. That hip joint doing a load of the work. Don't allow the toes to move and get involved. They stay as you start with them. 2 more in front and 2 more behind. And then a slight change in focus coming up. So extend that long leg away. Instead of pointing, really flex the foot. Turn your foot out so your big toes facing the ceiling, and do the same thing. So your heel is tapping down behind, but your legs rotated externally. So you're getting a different little bit of hip movement. That's it. And as you take your leg up and in front or behind, make sure you don't sink into the mat with the underneath waist. You're still drawing that away. Keeping your body nice and stable. Getting some work in the old hips and bum, which will start to be screaming soon. So I'll give you 2 more on each, front and back. Oh, I'm in awe of how high you can get your legs. Mine do not go that high. Oh, good. Okay, then grab a head pad. We will just take the focus to our chest release. So bring your knees up so your shins are in line with the front of your mat, underneath shoulder drawing down. Load a pad behind you. Breathing in, take an arm to the ceiling, breathing out, keep the knees and hips glued where they are. Rotate from the chest, which after all that oblique work should be quite nice and loose already, and then return. So breathing in, arm to the ceiling, breathing out, a nice breath in to hold, and then breathing out, using the abs, using the obliques to bring your arm back again. That's it. That's looking lovely and smooth. I would say both Maud and Marie, draw your underneath shoulders a bit further down your body so you've got some gap between your ear and the upper shoulder. And we'll do one more of these. And then when you've done your final one, come up onto your forearm on your side. We'll do the shell in 2 positions. So angle your knees away from you and your heels still in line with your bottom. Underneath waist, drawing up space between the upper shoulder. And from here, we'll do the shell. So breathing out to open the knee again without rocking back, just to the point that you have to sort of stop yourself rocking. And if you think your knee going away and opening first, that might help. And of course, it really does depend how loose you are through the joints. It's a case of if you're too flexible and it just opens really far, it can be just as dangerous as anything else because you might do damage without noticing anything. So you need to be able to control where the muscles go. Final time. And then if you're happy to, coming up onto your, almost a side, well, it is a side lift onto your knees, and same thing. So breathing out to lift, breathing in to close. If it's not comfortable, or you'll find you're sinking into your shoulders, just come down again and continue where you were. So finding oranges under armpits, strength through the underneath body. That's it. Again, stopping that opening happening too far. Good. 2 more. And then scoot over onto the other side, ready for the double leg lift again. So nice and long, setting yourself up for success. So hip over hip, underneath shoulder, just draw it away. And again, that's where the pad is helpful. So as you breathe out, lifting both legs, focusing on the underneath leg. Apologies for the crackling. And breathing into lower. And again, any tension in the neck, just turn your head so you're looking at the mat. That's it, so nice and smooth. Make sure your legs are slightly in front of you so they don't lift behind you by accident and pull you back. All that focus underneath waist, lifting the whole time anyway. Keep your back safe. Legs are glued together. Breathing out to lift, breathing into lower. That's it. 2 more. Good. And then lifting the top leg to hip height, squeezing the inner thigh of the underneath leg up and placing it down again. Breathing out, focus on that upper inner thigh, squeezing up, feet just dangling where they can. Make sure all that work's happening. Good. Still think about shoulders relaxed, underneath waist, drawing away from the mat. Lovely work. 2 more. And then it's our gorgeous hot potato to get those hips burning. So top leg back at hip height, little toe facing the ceiling, 2 taps in front, up, 2 taps behind. Again, hand in front for balance if you need to, all the time, keeping that outside edge of the foot pointing towards the ceiling. To keep the integrity of the legs so parallel to standing your feet forward the whole time. That's it. Again, try not to hitch into the mat as you lift your leg. So think someone's pulling it away, getting length. The more you think length away, the easier it sometimes is. 1 more. And then rest your leg down. Turn your leg out so your heel is facing the floor. Lift the leg, and again, 2 taps with the heel down in front and 2 taps behind. So this is where your leg is in external rotation, as if you're standing like Charlie Chaplin with your feet turning out. That's it. And again, try not to hitch. It's toughy. It feels different in positions, and it feels different for everyone in different positions. Then we've done different sides. But you're all looking really stable. It's brilliant. Good, good, good. 2 more. Nearly there. Final set, if you can. And then set yourself up for the chest release. So knees bent up, shins in line. So imagine you're sitting on a nice chair, shoulders down, underneath waist engaged, breathing in to lift the arm, breathing out, rotate round, breath in to hold, breathe out, use the obliques to draw you back all the time, keeping those knees glued together, keeping the hips glued together, and thinking about that top hip again, reaching away so you've got some lovely length through the body, using your breath. That's it. Still engaging the underneath waist. That's it, Adele. That's looking really smooth. One more set. And then when you finish that, coming up onto your forearm, thinking again about the underneath waist, drawing away from the mat, angle your knees away from you so your feet are roughly in line with the middle of your bottom, and then breathing out to open for the shell. All the time, that lovely space through from your shoulder to your ear, just holding that opening so you don't rock the body. Breathing out to open, breathing in to close. That's it. That looks brilliant, everyone. 2 more. And either stay there or come up, hoisting yourself from the underneath waist, so still oranges under armpits, and the same thing. So some nice side lift work. Upper body strength. Final one. And sit yourself down, roll over onto your front. And again, if you want a pad under your forehead, do so. Separate your legs, turn them out again in Charlie Chaplin style, squeezing the bottom, sending your pubic bone into the mat, arms out in front of you. And as you breathe out, think lifting your heart into your throat, up through the crown of your head, squeezing your bum to come into your cobra, and then reaching your arms away again. So everything's happening at the upper back, just below the neck. And if you want to, you can bend your elbows and come up a little bit instead, however you're feeling today. That's it. Make sure you've got an arm under your chin so you're not lifting your chin and putting tension through the neck. You want a lovely long spine and neck and getting that work as if the scapula are sliding down the back of the body towards the hips. Any pain in the lower back, keep it a smaller lift. You should feel a stretch from tummy button up through the chest. That's it. Good, Caroline. Adele, perhaps turn your feet out a little bit more. Yeah. Focus on the bottom squeezing as well, just to make sure the back's staying nice and safe. 2 more. Final one. And then bring your legs back closer together, turn them so the front of your feet are facing the mat, arms out in front of you. If you're happy to, you can squeeze the bum, lift your legs and hover the whole body and do swimming, tapping down. Otherwise, stay down and just lift opposite arm and leg, keeping the legs really, really straight and the arms really straight. Few of these. Lovely, Maud. Good. That's it, Caroline. Brilliant. Nice, Maria. Good, Adele. Keep those legs nice and straight. And then relax. We'll do the same thing with the legs, nice and slowly, but do breaststroke arms. So we'll start with the arms bent in front of us, and all the time we're beating our legs, just extend the arms away, scoot them around to lift the chest, dive forward as you straighten away, bring them round if you can. Otherwise, just go back to normal swimming, keeping the chin nodded, some nice length through the neck. That's it. We can dream in today's sunshine. We're swimming in a lovely Caribbean sea. Palm trees to the sides, beautiful fishies. And 5, and 4, and 3, and 2, and 1. Sit back into a child pose. Release any tension in the back. Good, 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 good. Coming back onto our fronts, we will do some hamstring work using our single leg kick. So hands clasped, forearms, lifting up through the abs. You're extending the legs away from you so they hover off the mat, shoulders away from the ears, and then it's 2 or 3 kicks in and extend away. So it's quite small and intense. If you're not feeling anything, you really need to focus on lengthening the legs first and hovering them. And if you really, really don't feel anything, go back just lying down to a standard hamstring curl. But don't sink into the shoulders. Thinking, drawing up through the tummy button. Press into those forearms to get some height. Marie, lift your chest a little bit more. That's it. So pressing your pubic the mat, that's it. Lengthening, hovering the legs, just a few more. Good. 2 more sets on each leg. And then a little bit of strength challenge for you. Lie down, tuck your toes under, hands either side of your chest. Really send your heels away with your toes tucked under. Squeeze your bum, suck your tummy in, shoulders down. See if you can come up into your little push-up plank. And we stay that. So we want bum in line with the shoulders. Can't really see what I'm doing, but hopefully I'm doing that right. And from here, we will just rock forward and back nice and slowly for 3. If you're happy to lift one leg and do the same thing on the other leg, if you're really not happy today, come down onto your forearms or just hold it, whichever version, and then change sides, rock forward and back for 3 with the other leg up. Good, that's lovely, good lines. Right, so if you can, stay up there, we'll do side plank. So lift one leg up in the air, cross it behind the other leg, unpeel, squeeze the inner thighs together, arm to the ceiling, place it back down and go the other side. So lifting one leg, crossing it behind the other, squeeze those inner thighs, oranges under armpits, hoisting that underneath waist and down. And again, if it's too much today, just come onto your side and do that little lift again. So let me see some nice side again. So start in a long plank, up and unpeel. Lovely. Good. Marie, keep those elbows slightly unlocked still. Get the muscles working, not the bone. That's it. Good. That's looking lush. Good. Now have a little breath. I've got one more challenge for you. So you've got a choice here. What I'm going to do again is that lovely bear lift or oblique stuff. So if you don't want to do that today, come into your dog, take the arm out to the side and challenge your balance by a bit of rotation that way. Like thread the needle. But if you want to do our lovely bear walk, coming back into our plank, so you thread your legs through and underneath and the opposite arm, and you tap your bottom down. All the time thinking oranges under armpits, underneath waist, drawing up, keeping that space from neck. That's it, fantastic. Brilliant, Adele. Good, Caroline. Lovely, Maud. Oh, you've been practicing this, Caroline, haven't you? You've got it now. That's it, Marie, brilliant. This is so good for flexibility and strength. One more. Oh, Lordy. I'm tired watching you. Oh, fantastic. Good work. Okay, come to sitting. And we'll finish sort of with our half roll backs because we haven't done any of those for a while. And we are still focusing on the abs. So sit nice and tall. Arms out in front, shoulders down, squeezing the oranges under armpits. Breathing in, hinge with a flat back. Breathing out, send your tailbone away. Your feet might lift. You want to send your lower back to the mat. So you're in a little curl up and you're going to play the accordion. So breathing in to expand the arms to the side, breathing out to squeeze the upper arm. In, breathing out, tummy button drawing through the body to the mat. In, and breathing out. Final time, draw it up curl forward and sit tall. And again, hinge, breathing in. Breathe out, send the tailbone away. Holding it there, breathing in. Breathing out, tummy button reaching through the spine to the mat. Out. Breathing in, breathing out. And an extra out breath. Curl it forward. Resit and tall. And again, one more time watching you. Breathing in, hinge with a flat back. Send the tailbone underneath you. Curl the lower back to the floor. And then breathing in to open the arms. Breathe out. Your tummy button is holding you so strong through the transversus and the abs. That's it. Nice and slow. Then curl forward. Sitting tall. Fantastic. And we will do some obliques, but nice and gentle ones. So again, hinge with a flat back. Breathing out, just sweep an arm behind you. Watch it go. You won't go as far back on your lower back this time. Hinge, just sweep away. This time, try and aim to keep your feet on the floor. So again, you're getting rotation through the upper body, through those obliques, keeping the shoulders nice and relaxed. That's looking lovely. Well done. And one more on each side. And then gradually, when you've finished, roll all the way down to the mat after you've sat up nice and tall. Slowly, 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 just nice roll down. Take your legs either side of the mat. We'll do a wonderful wide hip roll. So either hands behind the head or wide, dropping one knee to the floor, then the second knee to the first ankle and looking away. So you're getting a lovely cross body stretch, feeling your hip flexor stretch out at the front where you did all that sideline work. Breathing, wide, wide fall. Then breath out, engage through the abs again. Back to the ceiling and go the other way. So one knee to the floor first, then the second knee to the first ankle. Mine really doesn't want to go, so I have to give it that little bit of an extra push and stretch, turning away from those knees. Keep breathing. Breath, breath, breath. Then back to the center and do one more for me on each side. Really stretching out. And back to the center on your next out breath, using the abs to do that work. Final time the other side. Enjoy the stretch. Lovely. Back to center. And then let's cross one ankle over the other knee, draw the underneath leg in. And again, you might want to press the top knee away from you with your elbow, just to find a little bit of extra stretch around the outside of the hip, around the glute area. And the underneath leg just hangs for the moment. And just breathe into that, the side of the hip. And then extend the underneath leg to the ceiling, flex the foot. If you can, draw it in a bit closer to your body to get a little bit more hamstring stretch. Really flexing the foot, sending that heel towards the ceiling as much as you can. Trying to keep the base of your spine on the mat as well. Breathing here. And then bend the underneath leg, refine the floor, uncross your legs and change sides. And again, it depends how flexible you are, how much stretch you feel. Which is why if you don't feel anything, that press of the elbow might be really helpful. And again, noticing your breath, direct it into the side of your bottom. And the back and sides of your ribs, and extend the leg to the ceiling, keeping the bottom on the floor, flex the foot, heel towards the ceiling. And think more about the breath Going through your body, through that long legs, out through the heel. So all the muscles are getting some oxygen. Sorry if you can hear my dog, she's very much better. And then bend the underneath leg. Place it down on the ground and we'll release the shoulders similar to how we started. Just arms to the ceiling. Imagine you're unscrewing some light bulbs. And again, allow the shoulder joint and the back of the shoulder to sink into the mat as you rotate. And then give yourselves a hug, reaching your hands for either side of the mat. So you're really, really stretching the upper shoulder. Still focusing on the abs, drawing through the body. And then open the arms out into a T along the mat and cross them over the other way, reaching the arms and the hands either side of the mat. Feeling that beautiful stretch. And then arms by your sides, a little, oh, you're done. Brilliant. Well done indeed.